Peace. Hold up. I'll be right back. Okay. I saw this in the background. I said, "What the fuck is this?" Hang on. Let me get the Swiffer out the back. The fuck are we doing here? Swiffer sweepers and shit. What's good, y'all? To the earths. Peace to my you know what I mean family. We in the house. Make sure you click that like button early. Early. We got something going down today. We got a brother who wanted to come rap with the people in more ways than one. Pun intended. Our brother Deon Jenkins, presidential candidate. He's here with us today. Now, before I bring him on, you know, this is a hip hop show. We got hip hop candidates that that could rap their ass off. I'm just saying. Shout out to the family in the house. Mm-hmm. I will check it out. I want to play. I want to play a joint from the brother before we bring him on to the show. I figured out how to share my my audio with y'all. I know one time when I first started doing the StreamYard shit, tried to share some audio of a video and it wasn't working and shit. I didn't know how to make that shit work at that time. But we got the shit popping now. So we're going to get into this joint from a man, Deon Jenkins. This joint's called Put Up Baits. Check it out.
Deon D. Jenkins for president. Yes, I'm the one who brought the topic of reparations to the political platform. DMLG, Defense, Money, Land, Grants. The benign neglect is on the roads. Time to wreck open the dough. Now I'm afflict the token jokes who pick the opposition blow. It's just how competition go. From not a pot to piss and pole. The project's popular, provocateur. This co until we got your pro. I'm ready, you know, I'm credible, oh, I'm better than so many Bernie and Joes and Pete Buddy get goals. Not believe we could beat Republican foes. Who cares about Republican Democrats are shutting our doors? Like Aaron Burr, I challenge Hamilton woes. The side effects of power can damage some souls. I'm living life like I'm in manager clothes. Trump is trying to propel himself, he better not stand on our toes. No matter Republican or Democrat, I rebuttal them whether they act discredit them as they troll at the internet. It's a matter of the public demographic. If the Republic will push back on democratic facts and racist acts, I mean aristocrats. Let me out the debate so I can take over the race. The presidential election trying to save hosts on face. With so much incompetence and so much disgrace, they should throw all their confidence all away cause it's
I don't know why the joint just stopped like that. That's weird. Are they trying to sabotage right now? Hang on. I'm going to give them a rewind. We go back.
Deon,
It did this to me
Jenkins
earlier when
for
I tried to
president.
play it. Just stopped playing in the middle.
Yes, I'm the one who brought the topic of reparations to the political
Let's do
platform.
it again.
DMLG, defense, money, land, grants.
We can't play the whole thing, but fuck it.
The benign neglect is on the roads. Time to wreck open the dough. Now I'm inflict the token jokes. We pick the opposition blow. It's just how competition go. From not a pot to piss and pole. The project's popular, provocateur. This co until we got your pro. I'm ready, you know. I'm credible. Oh, I'm better than so many Bernie and Joes and Pete Buddy get golds. Not believe we could beat Republican foes. Who cares about Republican Democrats are shutting our doors? Like Aaron Burr, I challenge Hamilton woes. The side effects of power can damage some souls. I'm living life like I'm in manager clothes. Trump is trying to propel himself, he better not stand on our toes. No matter Republican or Democrat, I rebuttal them whether they act to discredit them or they troll at the internet. It's a matter of the public demographic. If the Republic will push back on democratic facts and racist acts, I mean aristocrats. Let me out the debate so I can take over the race. The presidential election trying to save wholesome face. With so much incompetence and so much disgrace, that you throw all their confidence all away cause it's consequent waste. We ain't going nowhere, we jogging in place. Call me bitter all you want to, it's all in your taste. I'd rather be bitter than sweet, so stop shaking your cakes. I discredit any candidate right when they making their case. I just let the levee come down, so a body of truth is flowing right now. With so much power, it might be the ocean. Got nothing to lose right now, I got roots, you can trust that I'm sound. Cause I ain't coming around with a plot of heavy boasting. The universe made its decision, I guess I was chosen. To help get back what's worth to the people was stolen. I can't rock a diamond chain when it's a fact that I'm knowing. People are in poverty and placed at the bottom of the rack and broken. I guarantee you not a token, it's hard to get sleep when I'm so woken. Never said I had a mystique, but I was outspoken. King David was at home with his sheep and had to stop Goliath Roman. Never had to lie down to any defeat long before the rise of a Roman. The DNC will never be open for people like me, so I guess until we see change in policy, we don't have to be voting. I got a buzz without an MSNBC cosign, without a BET or MTV Showtime, is still going. Put me in the debates, put me in the debates. Put us in the debates, put us in the debates. Put me in the debates, put me in the debates. Put us in the debates, put us in the debates. Put me in the debates, put me in the debates. Put us in the debates, put us in the debates. Put me in the debates, put me in the debates. Put us in the debates, put us in the debates.
All right, that man said put us in the debates. You know they're not going to do that, so it's the closest you're going to get right here, right now, on the motherfucking Godcast. Ladies and gentlemen, gods and nurse, let's welcome my brother, Deon Jenkins, to the Godcast.
Hello.
How you, brother?
How's family? I am blessed. It is an honor to be here.
It's great to have you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
So, let's get to it. You are a presidential candidate
Yes, sir.
in the 2020 election, and you are running on the platform of reparations, yes?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, brother, who is Deon Jenkins? What made you feel that you could run for president? You know what I mean? Why the reparations platform?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, just where are you from? Let's let the people, the voters, on this election day, in this 11th hour, if they haven't voted, maybe they'll vote for you. So tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yes, my name is Deon D. Jenkins. I am a presidential candidate. I'm running under the Democratic Party. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent, but it's a two-party system, right? So, unfortunately, a lot of our people vote Democrat every election. Why? Well, we've been doing that for over 60 years now, and we have been benign neglected out of politics. I'm a grassroots hip hop organizer from the Bay Area, California. And I got into politics around 5 years ago. I'm not a politician. I'm more of an activist. Like I said, I'm more of a grassroots hip hop organizer. But I got into politics because I saw the void in our space, and I saw the benign neglect getting even worse. We had our first Black president, and he ignored Black people for quite some time, but he used our election power in order to catapult himself and the Democrats in a type of situation that put them ahead over us. Everybody got looked, and everybody got great looks instead of us. And we were basically shunned out of the room. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna run. I have a lot of great ideas. I'm a regular guy, but we need people who are like myself in this space. We need more representatives of the people in this space. And if nobody is going to take on the challenge, then I will. So, hey, look, I had the confidence, I had the swag I need, and I had the reparations plan and agenda for a Black agenda for our people.
And where did you get that from? Where did that plan come from? Yes.
So it's a plan that was reconstructed for a long time because I didn't have all of the answers at first. When I first ran in 2015, I stepped out into the scenes. All I knew was we need to get reparations, and I didn't really have the ideas for it really solid yet. And I began to study. I began to study a lot of nations, a lot of countries, and I found 4 things in common with every nation. There are 4 elements to every nation. There's a defensive structure, there's capital, the economy, the flow of currency. Okay, there's land, right? A place to reside, and there's having access to that economy. So what I constructed was a plan entitled DMLG, which stands for Defense, Money, Land, and Grants. These are the 4 elements of reparations. And these 4 elements are constructed from American society because it was these 4 elements that bottom casted us as a people. So these should be the 4 elements that repair the damage. Reparations is only the extension word from the root word repair. So when you're talking about giving reparations, that just means repairing, right? And there are 4 ways how to repair. Nobody talks about the 4 elements, right? Everybody talk about money. I hear some people say land. I hear some people even say education, right? And we all know it's not education. But there are 4 elements of reparations. There's a defensive structure. There's a reason why. It doesn't matter how rich we get as individuals. The police should not be able to pull you over at any time and gun you down and get off scot-free. They're killing us with impunity. And that's a problem, right? And the reason why they're killing us with impunity because our 14th Amendment rights are being violated. The 14th Amendment was constructed in order to stabilize us as American citizens in this country after slavery. So that pretty much gave us the full access to the American government. But that amendment is not being enforced. So law enforcement agencies, they're out here. We have a lot of criminals who infiltrated law enforcement agencies. I warned about that years ago, right? Matter of fact, white extremist groups went up from like 100 to almost 1,000 groups from 2008 all the way to 2014. So within a 6-year span, they increased their numbers 10 times. And the FBI already stated that law enforcement agencies were being infiltrated by white extremist groups. I call them white terrorists. Now, it's funny how we could have an American establishment who don't have no problems with enforcing the law when it comes to punishing Black people. But this same government, when it's time to go and punish white terrorists, they're absent, right? So the reason why that is happening is because our 14th Amendment right is being violated. And when your 14th Amendment rights are being violated, that is a crime. The government is committing a crime against our people. So what I constructed a reparations package, and I included defense at the forefront, because you cannot have anything without the ability to protect it. So with defense being at the forefront, the defensive structure incorporates a military, armed forces, law enforcement agencies, and a judicial system. Okay, and that's at the forefront. The second,
now, not to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you talking about these are structures specifically created for black people, for original people? This is what you're saying?
No. So the defensive structure is used in every society.
Okay.
And hold on.
That's quite a ringtone you got there.
Yeah, I'm gonna lie. So the defensive structure that incorporates every society, every society, unless it is colonized, have a defensive structure, and that incorporates a military, armed forces, law enforcement agencies, and of course a judicial system. Because
we already have those things in America. What would
right? So
what would be different about yours?
Right. So what I would do in order to repair the damage, I would institute as commander-in-chief. I will create a new branch of the military specifically for our people. And this military will be able to protect our interest domestically and abroad. I will also construct new elements of law enforcement agencies specifically to protect our people, because right now the government agencies aren't doing their job, right? And the reason why they're not doing their job is because they're incorporated by white supremacy. So by using the 14th Amendment, I would, John F. Kennedy, he did it with the Navy SEALs. As commander-in-chief, that is the only almost absolute power that you have. We saw that with George W. Bush. Of course, it's easier if we have Congress as well, right? So that's why I advocate black politics altogether, locally, statewide, and on a federal level. We got to get people in there. We have to get black politicians in there and elect these guys so that we can have more power and more sway in these things. And so also, far as courts jurisdictions, right? Judges, hey, let's keep it real. These judges are not doing their job in relations to making sure that the right people go to jail for crimes that they committed against our people, right? So they already did stats. If a black man kill a white person, we get the death penalty. Okay, if a white guy kills a black person, he might get off. So there is an injustice. There is an unlevel distribution of power and resources given to white people in that space. And these judges, we got to have our own court system, and that's one element. And the reason why this sounds so radical. Okay, because I know a lot of people like, okay, man, this sounds way out of pocket, man. Like this sounds like
because you're not a rich.
You know what I'm saying? What's that?
You're not a rich white man running. Sounds radical.
Right.
Honest. If you're not a white man who has a certain pedigree, went to a certain school, had a certain career path and all that type of shit, made a certain amount of money and a certain amount of fame, running for president seems radical. It seems crazy. Yeah. Right. So what is your real purpose in running? I mean, you can't expect to think that you're really gonna win.
Well,
you know what I mean? So is it about bringing the issues up. You see what I'm saying? To try to bring it to a bigger forefront.
I would
Or
have
do
to
you really believe you can be the
I-
president of the United States?
right. I believe that we can win because we have the numbers. We shouldn't let anybody tell us we're really not that much of a minority like they say that we are. When black people don't really take a census, right? There are a lot of black people out here, a lot more than we are given credit for. And we never really saw a blueprint on how an American president would enforce the law against white terrorists because it never been done before. So but the president does have that authority. It just never been done, right? So it's not like, it's some out of the box thing that can't happen. And if we could mobilize black people enough to support their own politics, not voting for the lesser of two evils, and we can win. But I got into it for reparations. Like I said, I constructed the 4 elements of reparations: defense, money, land, grants. With the money part.
Yeah, let's talk about the money part.
Right.
How would that be distributed?
Yes. So there are actually 2 checks, right? There is one because this is my conjecture, right? America can never pay us back for slavery, Jim Crow, mass incarceration, mass unemployment, lynching, burning down our establishments, running us out of our neighborhoods. They can never pay us back for that. They will always be in debt for that. Just like we are always in debt to the IRS, they will always be in debt because of that. So there is one check that you get. The first check is like a lump sum, right? And this lump sum incorporates. So what I did, I'm gonna give you the mathematics. I calculated every GDP, gross domestic product, since 1865, and I came up with $1 quadrillion. That's the number after the trillions, right? So $1 quadrillion, and I put an at least factor to the population size of this country dealing with blacks who descended from American slaves. And I came up with an at least 3%. Now, the reason why I say at least 3% is not because there are 3% of the population size in this country. I came up with that because I stated that this isn't at least. Everybody can agree that there is at least 3% of black people in this country who descended from American slaves. At least 3%. So I just came up with a number that we can all agree with to keep all of the debate from happening. So with this at least factor of 3%, I calculated $30 trillion that would be a lump sum. Now this lump sum could be broken up in increments over time. They don't have to pay it all at once because our national GDP is like $20 trillion a year, right? So they may not be able to just pay that off all at once, but this check will eventually stop, right? So with the at least factor of there are 300 million plus people in this country. So if you take an at least factor of 3%, I'm saying that leaves you with about 10 million people in America. So with at least 10 million, right? So if you take at least 10 million, and if you take the $30 trillion, right? That comes up to like I got the numbers. Hold up, give me a second. I got the numbers because I haven't went over these numbers in a minute. Give me a second.
Okay.
So I don't have the exact number, but it's 3% of 30. It's 10 million people have to take increments from $30 trillion as a lump sum. All right. So
That's still a hell of a lot of money.
yeah, that's one. That's one. That check eventually stops. Okay. The second check, however, that check don't never stop. Okay, this check is broken up by the annual GDP of $20 trillion. Okay. And that check, I actually have the number because I memorized that check. That's actually, it's coming back to me now. So there's $3.1 million for the lump sum. All right. There's $3.1 million for the lump sum. For this, for the annual check of the GDP, what I did was I took $20 trillion a year. You break it up for 10 million people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's everybody. That's about $600 billion a year. That's about $60,000 a year with equity because of inflation, because the value of the dollar goes down every year. So you can't get the same $60,000 in 100 years because it's not going to be the same because of inflation. So if you take $60,000 of an annual check on top of your $3.1 million of a lump sum, that's just money in your pocket, right? That's not including the land. That's the next element, because they already promised us 40 acres and a mule. So if you take 40 acres and multiply that by 10 million people, that's over 600 million acres of land. That's a land mass larger than Texas, right? And last but not least, the grants, right? Now, the access to capital. This would be funded money given to us by the government where you don't have to take out of your own pocket. This is to rebuild. This is to build up Black America, to rebuild Black America. So let's say you have a son, right, who went to college. He's trying to be a doctor. He graduates. He said, you know what? I want to open up my own hospital because we have a lacking of Black hospitals in this country. Well, he would be able to get a grant. He would be able to go to a board and get a grant for being able to build a hospital. If he's in if he's in technology, whatever, he want to start a computer company. He want to build the next YouTube, right? Whatever, he would be able to give government funded resources in order to build that. So yeah, that's what I incorporated, man. I established that. I'm running with it, man. And I think that we should get behind candidates who are for our own people and stop voting for the lesser of two evils.
So when you talk about reparations, how do you feel about, a lot of people talk about ADOS and,
right,
American descendants of slaves or
right.
African descendants of slaves. I forget what the A stands for.
American descendants of slavery. Yeah.
My mic is too low. 1, 2.
Right.
I don't know what's up. 1.
Right. I'm not with Adolf's. Power to them. Like I have no bones, no personal vendettas against that movement. I would say that the classification isn't specific enough. American descendants of slavery isn't specific for our lineage claim. And I would say this, they should work on trying to build more allies with more Black people in this country who don't have that lineage. I think the movement should be more about a worldwide reparations movement and not just for this country. If you are Haitian, if you are a Jamaican, a Brazilian American, you should be able to get reparations from your own government as well. And I think that we should all get together and make this a worldwide movement and not just focus on ourselves and in this country. I don't agree with that element of it. However, I do believe in the lineage part. Okay, we got to understand that if we're going to get reparations, we must get reparations from our own governments, because otherwise it's going to be convoluted. It's going to be a lot of confusion, and if we don't, you know, make it clear and specify what our lineage is, American descendants of slavery, ADOS, is not specific enough, because first of all, you're not even specifying what type of slavery, right? If you say ADOS, okay, what type of slavery? We have Brazilian slavery, we have Mexican slavery, Haitians, they were slaves, and with the whole diaspora were slaves at one time. So if you say I'm an American descendant of slavery, you're not specifying which type of slavery. Even the word slavery in itself is too general, because you have slave owners who were a part of slavery, right? They were slave owners. So if you say I'm a descendant of slavery, okay, I'm a descendant of a slave owner. That's slavery. But if you say I'm a descendant of slaves, now you're specifying the specific element of that type of slavery, right? So I advocate blacks who descended from American slaves. That's as specific as it can get. Blacks who descended from American slaves, because now you're talking about black people. And that's another thing that ADOS don't do. They do not specify the black. You have to specify the black, because specifying the black is your claim to damage, because we were subjugated in this country because we were black. So if you take away the black, where's your claim, right? Now, a lot of people are not going to run with that. That's fine. And I have no personal vendettas against ADOS. I wish them all of the best. Anybody who's fighting for reparations in this country, hey, man, I support. I just think that we have to get the specifications correct and do it ASAP, because otherwise everything is going to be convoluted, and we need to make this a worldwide movement. Include the Jamaicans, include the Haitians, include the Brazilians, the black Mexicans who identify as black people, right? We have a whole diaspora of people who descended from slaves. And if we make this a worldwide movement and make sure, and if we had a president in the White House who would enforce these things internationally and domestically, will be powerful, right? Now, of course, I want to reiterate, though, everybody should take their reparations claim to their own governments, but they should get help by other black people in doing that.
One, two, there we go. One. My mic is acting up right now.
No problem.
All right, so let's just say black people got reparations. You don't think we're gonna give it right back to the white man with the type of thinking that we have right now? We get a whole bunch of money as individuals and don't use it collectively, and now we all running out. Everybody got Louis Vuitton baby carriages, and everybody got helicopters and Bentleys, and you see what I'm saying? Everybody got private jets and all that type of shit. Like that's the type of shit motherfuckers gonna spend their money on and shit if they were to get said reparations. So how do we change the mindset so that when we get the money, we move as a collective and we can use this money in a way that doesn't just help individuals, but it helps us as a collective?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an element of people like that, right? But I don't think that, me personally, I don't think that we should control what people do with their own money. However, I think that there is going to be a strong element of people who's going to put it back into our own nation building and getting resources the way we should in this country, and using the resources in order to build up Black America. I think there are a lot of people who are going to do that. And not only that, but you got to understand as well that there's a grant element. So we have money that's going to be given to people who's going to be going to boards asking for money to build establishments. Okay, so if you go to a board, you know, you're a doctor, you say, look, we need more Black-owned hospitals, and you pitch your idea to this board, you will be able to get grants, and good grants, sizable grants, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 million. You know, you pitch your idea, and there will be capital for you. So yes, I mean, unfortunately, there is an element of irresponsibility that's going to kind of sway as well, but that's something that's out of our control. All we should be really focused on is getting reparations and doing the best that we can in order to get away and get liberated from white supremacy in the world, specifically this country, as Americans.
What do you think about these two plans that were put out? Trump has his platinum plan, and apparently Biden has a plan called the Lift Every Voice plan that I just heard about that yesterday, to be honest.
Right.
But apparently,
right,
you know, he's got a plan too. Both of them, the name sounds a little condescending to me. The platinum plan, like, you know, Black people like platinum and gold and diamonds and shit. And then the other one, Lift Every Voice, that's like some Negro spiritual shit, you know.
Right. Right.
Lift every voice and sing. So
Lift every voice.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know if you know, checked out both the plans and all of that, but
yeah.
What do you think about them, and how do you think what you have is better?
Well, what you have to understand is that I've read the Donald Trump plan. I don't know if he re-advised it, but the first time I read it, he wasn't really specifying us at all. It was like some minority stuff and stuff like that. It wasn't really specifying us, and it was like 600. Like, it was a really low number that he was going to give to minorities. And white women, they classify as minorities. White gay people classify as minorities. So it wasn't really it wasn't specifying us. Joe Biden's plan, I did not read his, to lift every voice. Joe Biden may be one of the worst presidents we will ever have if he's elected. I don't think that we understand the nature of Joe Biden. Like, he spent 40 years in politics advocating for policies against our people, creating policies against our people. He is the pioneer of the school to prison pipeline system in America for young Black men. He wrote the 1994 crime bill. This country is the most populated prison country in the entire world. And Joe Biden created that. So it kind of confuses me why any Black person would even consider a guy like Joe Biden, as well as Trump, right? And that's why we have to advocate for our own politics, our own politicians. And this whole narrative of, if I don't vote for Biden, Trump is going to win, it doesn't matter. It's a lose-lose situation. If Trump wins, he hates us. If Biden wins, he hates us. And with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they're going to actually pass an Equality Act that actually give this homosexual propaganda even more of a stronghold. Now, they already got gay marriage. Like, what more do you want? You You know, what more do you want? You got gay marriage. You could marry now. What type of rights do you really want, right? White people are, no matter if they're gay, straight, women or male, they are the highest class, the highest subgroup in this country. So we have to watch out for that, because if you elect Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, this homosexual agenda is going to go through the roof like we never saw it before. And they're going to back it up with policy. And both Biden and Kamala Harris have a long history of anti-Black policies against our people. And that's something that we're going to have to take into consideration and make sure that, so even if you go to the polls, you don't have to vote for Donald Trump or Joe Biden. You could down ballot and write in Deon D. Jenkins for president. No, I'm not going to be president this year, but hey, 2024 is coming. Another reason why you will hope that Joe Biden don't win, because now we're going to have to wait to 2028, because Joe Biden or Kamala Harris is going to try to get re-election for 2024. And we don't have a chance with the Republican Party. That's straight redneckville, white supremacy, overt white supremacy, right? So if Joe Biden wins, then you could rest assured that we're going to have 8 years at least of benign neglect politics. So Deon D. Jenkins, write that in, because when you go to the polls, you're showing that, look, I don't support Biden or Trump, but I'm a support this man. This you're telling the establishment, like, look, if you want my vote, put out candidates like this. That's what you do. That's how you show power. That's because it doesn't matter. It's a lose-lose. If you vote for if you vote for Biden, it's a loss. If you vote for Trump, it's a loss, no matter what. So that's my recommendation. But everybody have the right to vote however they want to vote. This isn't voting suppression. You know, you vote however you want, but just keep that in mind when you go to the polls, or if you're thinking that you're not going to go to the polls, keep that in mind as well.
Well, there you have it, brother. I think your case has been laid out. Anything else you'd like to say to the people?
That's it.
Where can the people find you? What's your social media and all of that?
Yes, YouTube, Deon D. Jenkins, Instagram, Hip Hop for President, Twitter at Alpha Leo Time. Alpha Leo is my hip hop name. So Alpha Leo at Hip Hop. Hold it. Alpha Leo Time. ALPHA LEO TIME. Yes, sir.
Well, you said Alpha what? Leo what?
Yes, Alpha Leo Time. One word, at Alpha Leo Time. Okay. Yes, sir. So what are your thoughts, man? Because I would like to hear, your opinions on Black politics. I don't really know quite where you stand. What's your opinion on what I was saying?
As far as
oh, my bad. No, at Alpha, that's ALPHA, right in between the H and the L. Yes, sir.
That was my speed.
ALPHA LEOTIME.
That was my speed. Speed typing. I'm not the best speed typer. Is that right? Alpha Leo typer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hip Hop for President on IG.
Hip Hop for President on IG, Alpha Leo Time on Twitter. My YouTube's Deon D. Jenkins. That's my name. Subscribe there. And I will be laying some videos down. I do a lot of political commentary. I haven't been doing it for quite some time now, but I'm gonna get back to that full throttle. So yeah, it'll be that way you can follow me.
So, I mean, real quick before we be out, you asked me how I feel. I mean, people on here know that I feel like your vote is, it's like currency. It's your political currency, and
Right.
you shouldn't spend it if you're not getting anything
Facts.
for it.
Facts. Yeah.
So, if you feel like you're gonna get something today, by for whoever, go by all means, go out there and do your thing. You know what I mean? But if you don't think you're gonna get anything, then you have the right to not do anything, not go out there and fuck with anything. And ain't nobody got to shame you into, oh, you didn't, fuck all that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You do what's right for you.
Facts.
That's all I could say. But yeah,
Yep.
we appreciate you coming through. We appreciate your donation to the show.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and coming on and in this 11th hour to talk to the people, on this election day. And I don't think there's nothing really historic about this election day. Like, it's just another fucking election day. They already know who it's gonna be. They already chose who it is. Like, trust me. But when you do things like what you're doing, I think it's a statement. It's a statement, and statements need to be made. But yeah, we appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate it as well.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Take care.
All right, my people. Listen, I don't know what's up with this mic. Maybe I need to get a new one or some shit like that. But they acting like 1 2 1 1 2 1 1. Y'all acting like it's fucking up. Y'all can't hear me? One. It's like, wow. Short. I think there's a short in this mic. There's a short. Good one. Yeah, it sounds good. That's short. I'm gonna. I'll get back to this. I'll get it to y'all on the next one. I got some shit popping, some big things popping, little things stopping all night. Could somebody say? Hold up. One, two. Yeah, something. It ain't about eating the mic, you motherfucker. I'm trying to shit. Yeah. It's right now. All right, I'm gonna get it right. Listen, that was a paid advertisement from my brother. I'm gonna let y'all know in full disclosure. Y'all do what you got to do. I ain't with none of this shit, but you do what you got to do. I'll be back, y'all. Work on this shit right here. But then, I love y'all. Thank y'all for doing it. Peace.